But there's something wrong here. Looks really nicely done. I mean, but it's mirrored.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because
Yeah. It's going the wrong way.
yeah.
Is that probably UCS and everything else, probably all our different techniques
around the image, and yeah.
But I think he needs some line weights. This is all very light.
Yeah, that line weight's wrong. That should be as thick a line weight as the exterior wall.
Yeah, and it's running through windows, so well, he's not here, so we'll have to talk to him. And this is the elevation.
Yeah,
again, actually, tricky. It's just so. And do we need double lines to show this glass or no?
We should.
Yeah.
We really didn't call for that as the third drawing.
It
was the site plan.
Yeah.
Because the elevation doesn't tell us a lot.
It confuses us, if anything.
Yeah, it's not very helpful.
Yeah. We'll talk to, but if there's other people who are on this project, then, you know, feel free to chime in or ask questions. And then he's got these hatches that I don't think.
Yeah, those are taken off of the drawing as given, but we don't want those.
Yeah. This is kind of a nice drawing, though. Just work on the hatches, lighten these up. Where are these things? What is that? It's behind the fireplace? Something behind the fireplace?
Could be. Let me take a look in again at that guy. What is going on? No, it's not actually in the building. It's actually, from what I can tell, it's just a smooth, it's in the drawing. Maybe to show off that there is a wall there, but actually it's just painted reinforced concrete. So he did replicate the drawing, but when I look at the photographs, that's not what's happening.
Yeah, that's the wall elevation hatch. A little heavy.
Yeah.
So we'll talk to Hector, obviously.
Right.
Whose is this? Abdullah, is that you?
Yes.
So let's see what we understand before we start asking questions. So 2 sections going in opposite directions. One has the fireplace in it, and the other is looking out that way. So the walls read nice and clear. So I think we need a line, a thin line there, and we would need hatching in here. There's a little thing there. This is all CAD?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you need these dashed lines running through.
But there should be a dashed line running from the one wall to the other to show the roof overhead. No, it actually goes right from that wall, the edge, that wall, it cuts across. It's a diagonal. Yeah.
Here, he has it? Hector has it?
Hector has it, although it should be
the roof, yeah.
The roof, yeah.
This line here?
Yeah.
That's how the roof goes on this guy.
So yeah, I don't think these need to be as pronounced as they are. So like I would bring these guys out a little bit more and bring these guys out the same. So,
okay.
And then I think you could just bring the lines in a little bit. Just, you know, stop them once they come in a little ways. The dash line running through the furniture doesn't help anything. You might do that if you had a really complicated building and you really had to like follow a section all the way through, but that's not the case here. So here, get this out of the bathroom. So thresholds. The walls are great. The furniture's, this looks like medium, that looks like medium, but this doesn't look the same. That looks lighter. This all looks lighter. I think the hatches, like your light and your dark is good, but maybe you need more things to move to the middle.
Yeah.
Like the fireplace, like this is actually cut through right there. And then this would be medium against this light hatch. I think this light hatch might be okay, but you need to get the furniture to step out in front of it. Same with like all this stuff is as light as the floor. So I would just bring it up a little bit so it pops out a little more.
I think I printed the wrong one. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder because there's for you, Abdullah, there are more mistakes in this than I would think. Like, and then in the front, the wall on the right-hand side, curtain wall of glass looks pretty good,
Yeah.
but it's much too light on the left-hand side. So those should be consistent.
Okay, so you know what we're talking about? You got all this done or recorded? And this is from all this you have found these trees in CAD somewhere?
From Google, yes.
In CAD? It's actually a CAD file?
Yeah.
All right. So this looks light, this looks dark. Glass. So we should we are treating the glass with a single line. So I don't know. What do you think, Michael? Like
Need a frame.
a frame. Yeah. So we need at least the top and the bottom frame to match this. So typically the frame that runs around glass, I can't draw. Typically the frame that runs around glass is the same on all four sides. It's going to be 1 inch square or 2 inches square. So typically what we see in plan we also see in section. Might not always be the case. Sometimes these horizontals could be longer or deeper. But when in doubt, just however you treat the window in plan, I just stand it up and treat it the same way in section. So yeah, so where are we now? This is section A1, which is looking towards the fireplace. So it's going this way. So that's the glass. This is the edge of the wall, window. So this would be dark, right? And then that line is something beyond. That's that line, I guess, whatever that is. What is this thing? Is that furniture? There's a light?
I think so. It's on the picture. So
Yeah.
image. Yeah.
I would just make it a little lighter, like these chairs. They're okay.
Okay.
I don't know about this hatch. What do you think, Michael, for this floor?
I really would prefer just a really strong line.
Yeah. So yeah, the hatching is so nice dark line right there. Thought I had line weights, line thickness. There you go. 6 point. Nice and dark. Looks pretty good though. So I get all the trees to be the same. This guy's a lot darker.
Yeah.
I don't like to zoom in too much. I try to look at them consistently. So dark wall in the back so we could see the end. I think I like this one with the glass a little bit darker actually. Because like in this one, you treat the end of the wall and the cut glass the same. But this one's a little darker. So I'm kind of going back on saying, like I said, treat it the same way in plan and section, but I kind of like it a little bit darker here. I don't know. I have trouble reading all of that. So we're looking back and we're seeing this wall here. So we're inside the house here, and then we see the bathroom beyond that way. So yeah, so these could, if this is glass again, draw the frames with like, you know, typically you see two edges of a frame. So maybe that would help there. And if it's on a diagonal, you know, if it's on a diagonal, you might actually see more. You might see more lines. But I think maybe some double lines there would help. I'm not sure. Maybe not.
Yeah. Is that 2 lines or is it just a thicker line?
Oh, that's actually 3 lines right there. So that just became 1 line.
Mhm.
So either solution, I guess, you know, 3 lines are going to become 1, you know, or 1 heavy one. But like these, like, is it, so this is a window?
Yeah, I think so. I followed just what was in the image. So
Yeah, it probably is. So well, definitely cut out. So the furniture is in front of the window, so that needs to be a little darker. Cut out the stuff that's behind the furniture, you know, or cut it out that way, actually. So the furniture's in front, the window's behind. And like, so yeah, I wouldn't just trace the image. Like if you don't know what this stuff is, like I guess that's a light, but maybe some of this stuff isn't helping in the section. I don't know. I mean, this is okay. But I'm not sure. If we have furniture that doesn't make a lot of sense, maybe it's better to get rid of it. Put a person in. And then we have a stray dark line back here. Yeah, that's drawn pretty well. Okay. Anything else, Michael, or?
No.
All right. And then,
I don't know what happened. I spent like 2 hours just line whites, but here everything is like normal. Now I think I printed the wrong one, or
all right, well, go back and check it out. So, the goal, well, so we have to get these things finished, and this is looking good as a finished submission. There's a bigger space here than here, so I would adjust that, make it all the same. And then we'll have to think about if this is going directly onto an InDesign board, then we would lose your name, but we could do that later. Keep that for now. But we need a graphic scale. We definitely need a graphic scale. And is there a north arrow for this house? Do we know?
I think so.
All right. So graphic scales could generally go down at the bottom. North arrows might go more up at the top or something. But get it all ready to go into Photoshop. And we could remove text or Illustrator, one or the other, wherever it's going. We could remove some text then if we have to, but it's looking good. All right.
Yeah, it looks a little bit though, the one thing is make sure your viewports or drawings are to the same scale. The 2 sections look slightly different. One looks a little smaller than the other, and they should be the same height.
yes, exactly. But actually, they are like that in the picture. I tried to scale them, but so I don't know why they are different in the pictures.
Well,
we could take a look at your CAD later. The viewports are the same? All the viewports are correct?
Yes.
All right. Maybe the image you're tracing isn't, something's off.
I mean, the images are larger and smaller. They're not to any particular consistent size or scale.
Yeah.
It looks like. I'm just looking at the images that we have. So, you know, one may need to be scaled up a little bit.
Yeah, this one looks shorter, just looking at the height of them.
Because the height has to be the same.
Yeah.
You know, and at this point, David, I could be a little bit like, if it's just a matter of adjusting the scale of the viewport, so be it. But
yeah,
they should be the same height when you're looking in section flat ceiling.
definitely.
They're not.
Yeah. So you could cheat with the viewport, but it's also pretty easy to scale it properly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if you bring this person over, they're going to look too big in here.
Yeah.
So just scaling it, putting, grab this line right here, grab a line, put it here, and just scale the whole thing plus the picture up to that same size. And you should be fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, good. Is Paula, is this you? So this is the third
Yeah.
drawing?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what, the beginning of the site plan?
Uh-huh.
Okay, more to come?
Yeah, I put like 3 different because you say like divide the paper space, so I like uploaded in 3 different image. So that's the site plan, and I have the other image
Oh,
for.
here you are. Okay, I see you got separated there. Okay. All right, well, the site plan isn't done, right? It's more is coming, right?
We've got the roof
What
plan.
that's what I see in the picture, so I don't know what else I have
So
to add.
there's contours, which could be a little bit more difficult, but that's just the roof plan.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'll circle back. Let me circle back and open up that plan. Remind me. We'll talk more
Okay.
about it. All right. And straighten these things out. Put them all the right way for us, please. Page display, page view. So the walls are nice and clear. The windows are clear. I'm just opening up my CAD file. So no floor hatches here. If you're not doing floor hatches, I think it would help to put in at least some small lines where you would expect a floor change. So it's not looking so empty. So we know that tile, typically the bathroom does not have the same floor finish as the corridor hallway. So I think some little lines like that could, 2 little lines could help.
Okay.
And then I think all your light and medium lines look the same to me.
Yeah.
So going into layer properties and changing them a little bit so we could tell the difference between light and medium. Because we want this to come up a little heavier, right? It's been cut through. So this should all be medium. And then we could have some more medium lines to help define. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what that.
Yeah, that should be a solid. No, that isn't a solid wall. That's a look at the images again.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but some parts of the furniture could be medium as well. This would be medium. Okay, Paula.
Okay.
So a little
I
more.
feel like if you zoom in, you're gonna notice more like the different. Yeah.
Barely. I could see it a little bit, but you can't tell people to put their head closer to your work. You gotta just. I see that they're on different layers, but from my monitor, the size that it is, I think I should be able to see it from that distance. It should be a little clearer.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. This is clearer. Here I could see medium versus light without having to do any zooming. So this should be solid wall, solid wall. This is the end. So this is not cut through, right? This is cut through. That's the window, little frames. Is that right? Yeah, I'm not sure about, like, the light is maybe okay if it's light. I don't know what this thing is here. It looks like a bear trap or something. I think let's not just trace things. If you don't know what it is in general, you have to ask us or figure it out yourself or not draw it, I'd say. adding extraneous things that, you know, you can't identify is just becomes awkward when somebody asks you. And then it looks like you have light lines, dash lines running through this inside your hatches for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why it happens. I just press like the solid hatch and it comes like that. But in CAD, you cannot see it. It's just like when you print it.
These light lines,
Mm-hmm.
that's odd. We could look at it on your CAD. All right, you understand what needs to happen?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, it's getting close. Romina?
Yes.
So
Is
we
this-
have a bonus elevation.
Is this 18 by 24?
Yes, the 18 by 24. I did the plan and the section on the 3/16 that we said, and I did the other ones a little bigger, one lower.
Well, from a distance, the plan looks good, but the dash lines are not coming in dashed. I told you last time you had to do that.
I
didn't
changed
I?
the scale and I could see it when I put it in, but I don't know why.
Oh no, there it is.
I don't
so-
know.
Oh, here. So it's good on the door.
Uh-huh. They
So
need to be bigger, yeah.
yeah, so your LT scale for what, 3/16
Mm-hmm.
is what?
I think it was
Less than 48.
36.
36?
Yeah, 36.
So you got to check everything separately. So 36 in model space for these guys.
And different for that. I guess I put everything in one. This is where we got funky.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, these you got dash lines here and here,
Uh-huh.
but no, something happened in the plan. So check that out.
Okay, I'll fix that too.
Yeah. You got the tiniest of dash lines.
Do I need to lower down the hatch a little bit on the plan? Because it does,
Yeah.
it didn't originally look dark, but it looks dark now.
Yeah, I think you can.
Okay.
All right. So dash lines, all dash lines. Is there a window back here? We got a outhouse with the toilet there.
Yeah.
There's a window here, right?
Okay. I thought it was, for some reason, an opening, which doesn't make sense. So. I'll make a window there.
Let's make an improvement to the house. That looks like a dash line right there. Shouldn't be. Oh, that's the center line coming through the whole house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the ridge line. Yeah, zooming in, these look a little dark, but I don't know. The windows look good, but it seems like you lose your edges when it gets so dark. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
I did the other two drawings that they were there too. I did all of them.
Yep. Were these dashed in the original drawing?
I don't think so.
No.
I think they're
I think they would be lighter. So here you got like a solid thing. Here you got.
I
like a
wasn't sure
beam.
how I was supposed to do those, honestly.
Well, it's a dark beam, so it's either solid or just a dark line weight, and then a lighter line weight down here.
Yeah, it looks like those footings are dashed. They're further away.
These guys underneath the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So typically they would be
Okay.
like that. So this is a beam
Hmm.
that we've cut through. This
So
is a
it's dark.
post that we didn't cut through. The post
Mhm.
is probably back here
Light.
actually. And then the post sits on a footing that is typically underground and dashed. So lose these little guys. So going back, so this section, I think Jonathan had the best section here in terms of So this is for everybody on the hut.
Mhm.
This is not so easy to do. How to create a continuous dark envelope with a million little lines. But you see, when you glance at this, you could get a sense, this is the
Mhm.
enclosure, right? I'm inside here. So that's what we want to see.
Okay,
So you got the bottom half done.
but I have to have the top dark.
Yeah,
I
we
did
wanna
the
smooth-
opposite thing.
Yeah, yeah. This looks darker than the top. So
Yep.
yeah. So just like if it was a very simple section, we'd have a dark line surrounding the habitable space, you know, where people could be and see, because that's what the purpose is to show us the interior space.
Mhm.
But here we have a whole lot of little lines. So you have to take some time and care to get, you know, so
Okay.
it might be dark on the outside, or dark on the inside, dark on the outside, and some mediums in the
Lighter.
middle.
Okay.
Yeah,
Make it-
take a close look to the existing drawing, and it's quite good as far as the line weights. So you
Mhm.
might want to refer to that because
Okay.
they've done a good job with that.
Yeah, those are nice looking drawings.
Yeah.
And then here we want a nice dark perimeter, which looks pretty good. So it could be dark, 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 medium here, but this looks pretty good the way it is. This looks a little darker than that to me.
It is.
Yeah, it's always just it stands out for me. It always
I'll
stands
fix
out
it.
because you got dark terminating in something lighter, so it's just it always stands out for me. But
And in general, you want the stuff that's closer to you to be darker when you're doing an elevation.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so like this could all go lighter perhaps. And
Okay.
this step is back at the door, right? These two, I think.
I think so.
No,
Uh,
isn't there a walkway or something?
there is a walkway, a
Oh,
long
but there's
walkway.
no, well, this is part of the, what is that thing then? I don't know what that is.
I guess I just copied it from the drawing and.
Yeah, the drawing really doesn't do a good job there.
Okay.
Oh.
Should I
It
just
shows
take that step
three-
off?
No, I don't think there are any, all the steps,
No,
it's correct. The steps are all the closest thing to the picture plane on that north elevation. There's
yeah,
no steps at the building. There's 3 steps or 4 steps that come out like a boardwalk.
so this is the bottom then. If the steps are correct, this is the bottom of the deck. This says that the door is sitting on the boardwalk, right?
No, we're on the back elevation.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I'm turned around.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, boardwalk. But the door is sitting on the boardwalk.
No, you go up a couple steps and then you walk down the boardwalk, which is all level.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So those steps are in the foreground in the elevation.
Here.
The 3 steps are the closest thing to us.
Yeah. But I'm saying that then that this is the top of the deck right here.
There is no deck on the back.
This thing? Oh, wow. I got you. All right. I understand now.
Yeah, it's a little
I
tricky.
see the light. I see the light. Thank you. So the deck lives here. This is the deck in the back.
Right.
It's a walkway.
Just a linear boardwalk.
Yes, I got you. I got you. It's good to ask questions, you know.
So that's
Next time you have to answer them, Romina. Week 15, we're gonna bring in some guests who are gonna ask a lot of questions. So,
Oh, great.
and now this one makes sense. So here, 2 are in the foreground, and this is the entire deck.
Yeah.
That makes more sense to me now. I thought we were in the front. That's why I was getting all turned about.
I did do the side plans, I think, as well, like the other 2 drawings. Do you want me to send them so you can see them just to see them?
We could look at them next class.
We can look at them. You're an overachiever. You've already done the additional drawing that was called for,
Yeah.
which was the south elevation.
I mean, I did the other elevation before, so I already had it. So then I had to do the south because it was required. So
Right. So you should know this better than we do at this point.
Yeah, you do have to be careful with the, so some extra lines needed.
okay.
Yeah, you do have to be careful when you're just tracing things, though. You really have to take it upon yourself to understand it all.
Mm-hmm.
It does look good. I think there would be a little something back here, right?
Yeah, I don't know why it's showing it completely floating like that. In elevation.
Very light lines, whatever that is back there. Sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the clip into the footing.
Yeah, I would
Makes
make
sense.
these all a little bit lighter, maybe these.
Mm-hmm. Because you're in the back. Okay. I think I have the back and the front confused.
Me
So
too.
I'll fix it now.
And to confuse you more, it's Australia, so south and north are different about how they receive sunlight.
That's funny.
Just to throw something at you.
So the chimney is on our left from the north. Yeah. Chimney is on our right from the south. That makes sense. Okay, good. It's on its way. It's close. It's very close.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay,
So
there we go.
Paula, here are some contours. And everybody who's doing the site plan. So this is Kira. How'd you do these? Are you here, Kira?
Yes, I'm here.
How'd you do, what type of line did you do these with?
The polyline?
Yeah.
Did you smooth the polyline or did you just use?
No, I didn't know how to smooth it.
Oh, okay. You can right click and then there is on a polyline, there's a smoothing option. They look good though.
Just bring over my, can you see my CAD now or?
Not yet. We're still seeing your Acrobat.
We don't have to do this on the HUD, right?
No,
Yeah.
the HUD has a very uninformative site plan, so it's not worth doing. But this one tells us a lot about.
Yeah. I'll bring up CAD after we could look at that smoothing thing, but otherwise, and should these be dashed? We could also look at the original and talk about that.
I don't think they were dashed in the original.
Okay.
They could be, yeah. They typically are dashed, but they
They don't have to be.
don't have to be. No.
Yeah. Not the same scale.
No.
All right. If you need help, let's share the screen later or tomorrow, my office hours or Thursday, see Michael and we'll get these to be the same scale.
Okay.
So everything I've been saying about, or we've been saying about the others. So dark lines. So this should be solid. Where's my pen? So solid walls, and then show us the difference. Show us that we got a window here. And then this is just a light line beyond. And whatever this thing is, it looked like it fell over in somebody's drawing, and now it's standing up right here. All right, so we've talked a lot about this one in general. Let's see. We got to move on here. So get these to be the same. They look different. Dash lines are not printing. Dark line becomes a light line. Good job with the furniture.
Chairs are kind of a little weird.
These are, yeah.
To fix it, those are the chairs that's in my grandma's house. They're like acrylic and it's like a slant, but
you don't see the slant when you look down at the top, do you? I don't know.
probably not. I don't know.
Take a picture of grandma's chairs for us.
Okay.
They sound like fun. Acrylic. They sound like retro 60s or something. I love that stuff, but I doubt it looks like that from the top. Could be wrong.
Okay.
Send us a pic. Good. Yeah, the windows look good. The walls look good. Yeah, just, maybe I'm wrong, but these don't look the same to me.
They don't look the same.
Maybe zooming in, maybe they start to look a little more alike, but
They definitely, they need to contrast with the edge of the deck.
this,
Because that's looking like that's all the same line weight.
yeah. So this becomes lighter, or this comes up a little bit darker.
Right.
The problem is we've drawn these things so small that it's hard to control something so small, but these lines could definitely get a little darker, and/or this one should get a little lighter.
And it doesn't look like the two drawings are at the same scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, we said that. Yeah, we'll do that. So share your screen. If you can't figure it out, we'll do it later together.
Okay.
All right. Lyric, you're here? Yes.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So too dark. I don't know how many lines that is. Is that just one huge line, or is that more than one line?
I think it's one line. I think my
think
dark
there's
is
two.
just really,
I think
really
it's-
dark.
I think it's two. It looks like two now. So yes, bring down the darkness. And then the light and the medium look like they're the same. We don't want that. It looks like your hatch ran in there or something. All right, so you've got the beams correct. So this is the section or elevation? We're in section here?
We're in the section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you still need to put in the roof purlins, those diagonal guys.
Yeah, those I was having such a hard time because if you can see, it was even my lines are a little crooked on like the right side because I was trying to do like the diagonal and I was trying to like offset the lines, and I think
Mhm.
because my what is it called? I can't remember what's it called, but you know the thing that makes the lines like go to a specific point.
Your object snaps.
Yeah, my snaps. It kept like turning it straight. I was having a hard time with it, but I'm just gonna take it off when I offset it, kind of like what I did in the last AutoCAD project. So it'll get fixed.
Okay. And yeah, and I could show you one way to do that too.
Okay.
All right, so we talked about most of that. So yeah, I think your dark is a little too dark. These columns they've lost all their edges.
Yeah.
And I think you need a third, unless you're treating, I don't know how you're treating these windows, but typically it's 3 lines with a dark in the middle and 2 light on the outside. Let me just jump back and see if we could. Yeah, so 3 lines are working. Yeah, you should be able to get 3 lines to work.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. So medium with 2 lights.
Yeah, and then take the dark down because yeah, those are two dark lines.
Yeah, you got a hatch leaving the room here. You've got 2 hatches that are not aligned, so you have to use the origin, set the origin on the hatches, and they'll align these hatches. Dash lines have to be dashed.
Yeah. I don't know why. I think was it Romina? No, because Romina's is still it at least shows with hers. With mine, it doesn't even show. I think I need to actually like completely fix the LT scale because it doesn't, even if you zoom in, it doesn't show its dash. But
It's LT is 1 in paper space and set to your scale in model space. Dash lines. Yeah, so yeah, it looks like it was not set to print. Yeah, goofy little things here. Things that aren't aligned for some reason.
I don't know in the cat file. I don't know if I was too zoomed in or not. It looked a little, I don't know, a little different.
Well, you got to print. It's everybody's responsibility to print their own PDFs and examine them. You can't say it looked good in CAD and then just send a PDF out and just say, well, I don't know about the PDF. This is your finished product. We're not going to take a magnifying glass out and look in CAD. This is it. All right. So you know what you got to do. If you have questions, let us know. And
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
show that part quickly.
No, I'm good. I got it myself. I know what to do. Thank you.
All right. Delaney. These something look weird to me. No. No, these look good.
No, I've since Delaney's, I use those to transfer into the SketchUp file.
Yeah.
And the drawings look really quite good, both in CAD and as plotted.
Yeah. You there, Delaney? You could hear us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So if, again, for bathrooms, I might put a light line just to show that there's a different floor. There might be a light line there, right? Because we're going in from out. I don't know, unless it's a frameless, unless it's no threshold, but I suspect something's there. But yeah, in general, it looks good. Couch. All right, I'm not going to go over them unless there's stuff that really needs it. These could maybe lighten up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, these rooms are so tight. Oh my gosh, look at
Yeah.
that.
I would not, I've been looking at this one in particular quite a bit. There's a lot of things that aren't very desirable about these bedrooms.
Yeah.
There's just a low window. So one, hopes the air conditioning is going to be working because, and so where this is cut higher up on the wall, we don't even see where the windows would be.
And this is actually a bathroom. Is that a toilet?
It is, yeah, it should be
Yeah.
a toilet, yeah.
And there's a
Each room
door
has-
or no door?
There's maybe a sliding door,
Maybe.
maybe.
Maybe not. And now we are on the second floor.
Second floor.
So these should be light, no?
Yeah, they should be light.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't hatch these because we're not cutting through them.
Keep them on the darkest layer. And don't
No,
hatch them?
no, medium layer because they're down below the cutting plane.
Okay.
Same with this, like whatever. I don't know why this is so dark and this. This is yeah, so this is the roof edge and that's a good line.
Yeah.
This is good. So this whole roof is good, except this could get a little lighter. And then whatever this line weight is, here, and maybe 2 lines there, but
Okay.
lighten them up. That's all pattern that's below the cutting plane. So it shouldn't be rising up the way it is graphically. It's good. You're very close. Looks good. Yeah, this hatch looks better than up above, unless no, I think it is lighter. Yeah.
Mhm.
You might lighten up doors and stairs a little bit. If anything, this area looks a little dark.
Okay.
So things that are on a back wall, like doors or stairs that are going away from us, could lighten up a notch, but otherwise it's looking good. Cow, you here? Yes. So the walls in the plan look good. Doors look good. Dash lines good. It looks very empty without the hatch now
Yeah.
compared to the others. You probably want to put the hatch in CAD for this hatch. Unless it's going to Photoshop and you're going to do something. I don't know. What do you think, Michael? Or it could be avoided?
I think the deck really does tell. So, the hatch at a very light line weight would be helpful in this drawing.
Yeah.
Just, showing us a little more clearly, what is floor, what is deck.
Yeah.
I think it would help.
Yeah, I agree. I try not to be too quick to jump on hatches because usually they're often not necessary, or sometimes they just don't look good, but this one really kind of needs it. But otherwise it's
Yeah, it
looking
looks
pretty
good.
good.
You know, the section looks pretty good.
This line, I don't know, again,
Yeah, I don't know why that's a different line weight.
yeah, unless it's like sometimes things print differently, but it shouldn't in a PDF, but if it's on an angle, but that looks odd. Yeah, that all looks good. This is our section.
Mhm.
This is our elevation. Yeah, I think that looks good.
Same problem with the line weights though in those footings.
Yeah, so those are dashed, and then we have dark beam above medium post. So this is the cut on the face. Yeah, but it looks good otherwise. Yeah, and then tuck these things down somewhere. So you don't, because if you leave it like that, you're definitely going to have to move it. So in general, preserve some space for title there, and graphic scales could kind of go down at the bottom, maybe tuck them in down there somewhere. And this is an elevation. So this probably doesn't need to be as dark. That probably doesn't need to be as dark.
Those could be two lines potentially.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
They are coming close to us though. It is a little bit of a, but yeah, when they merge together, it doesn't look quite right.
Mm-hmm. All right, good.
That looks good.
And last but not least is Joyce. Is this Joyce? Am I right? Yeah, that's Joyce's name, right? Yes. So these are not the
Yeah,
same
there's
width.
nothing wrong with it.
You see that, Joyce? You're here? Joyce was having some microphone issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two drawings, there's something about the scale that's not right. So it looks like the drawings that look like they go together on the left-hand side, and the drawings that are on the right-hand side, they look like they're at different scales or different sizes, or were scaled differently when they were popped up. Again, you can either correct the scale. This building is a little weird. I've been trying to scale items. I've been really pulling my hair out over it, but we want these to be consistent. I don't think it's going to be that big a fix, but.
So you have two viewports, Joyce? You have
what it
one
looks
here and one here?
Yes.
All right, well, if the scales are set the same, then there's a problem with the image. But these are these two on the same image or no?
No.
No. All right, so either the image, so if the two viewports are set correctly, then there's an issue with the two images not being correct. And again, we could take some time. So if you're really stuck with CAD issues that you're just can't get past, we'll definitely preserve some time on Thursday for those.
Oh, okay.
We're going to jump into SketchUp. So everybody take a look at your issues. And again, the final is due Sunday or a week from today, one or the other. So if you have any CAD issues, bring them to class on Thursday and we'll preserve some time. Oh, let's look at, so this section looks really good. Whose section were we just talking about? Lilani's?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Lilani, you could see a lot of the darkness that we're talking about. So
Yeah, that's a nicer.
yeah, so this has a nice amount of lightness. If anything, it's the light and the medium look the same to me.
Yeah, they are the same.
But you could just get a sense from the lightness though that it reads a little more clearly. So the dark is great. That should not be dark, right? Because this is the wall, so this should be dark, or like that's glass.
That's
so
glass. We're cutting through glass. Yeah.
cutting through glass, so about that dark would be right. But this wall is beyond, so that should go light. So it's dark. So we have to be able to make sense of the shell of the building. This could be dark too, especially since you got these jumbo thick walls.
Mm-hmm.
But good, yeah. This all looks good. Just get us a little glass to show us that we're inside the house. Looks like you got a little edge hanging over there, maybe. Good. All right, any questions from anybody? And the elevation is the easiest.
It's easy. But these folks, the two that I think it's only two people that picked the yard house, had a lot to do. They had a second floor to draft, so I think it's all pretty fair. As
They
far
have
as
some
the-
SketchUp challenges coming, as you were maybe
Oh
saying.
my gosh, yes.
So do you want me to include the elevation onto the page?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll nicely balance out the page too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just have to get them with the right scale.
Yep. All right, questions from anybody, or else we'll take a little break before we dig into some SketchUp.
I missed mine. This is Issa.
Oh, Issa, you.
You were first. You were first. We talked about it forever. So what did we say? We said it generally looked pretty good. We said, I think we could use a lighter hatch. We said that to just about everybody. So just bring down the floorboards a little bit. So you might have to create a new hatch, a new layer. But yeah, so like this line is actually darker.
That is weird. That line is the same layer as the hatch.
Oh, really?
100%.
Yeah, well, when things go to PDF, you have to evaluate it yourself. You know, you have to get in the habit of it. Yeah, things get translated weird. So same like this guy, right? Super light. So they should all be the same. This guy
That
should
is
be
so
lighter.
strange.
Yep. This line and this line should be the same as the medium furniture, and the floor pattern should go down a little bit.
Oh, let me
These-
check my genre.
These could be smaller. You don't even, it could even be cut there, just non-obtrusive, tiny. Same here. And a lot of people, once we get onto this diagonal, it changes. It must be printing. Maybe it's a printing
Could be a
problem.
printing problem, the PDF problem.
It's strange.
Yeah.
Lighter with this floor hatch. Yeah, see the toilet? See the sides of the toilet are good, and then it gets lost there. Strange. Yeah, just small things there. But yeah, we definitely want this to be a notch darker than this. So I think if you bring down the hatch, it'll improve a lot. But check to make sure all your medium lines are medium. So this is a different approach, actually. Yeah.
So the difficulty with this, with this is by applying the hatch, that you need a thicker line where it's the edge of the roof. This looks like there's pretty much almost no roof on it.
Hmm. Looks like a trellis, like an open trellis or
Yeah.
something. But the beams are good. Like the
Yeah.
floor is good.
Yeah, it's
Kinda
just
light. Yeah, I kind of like it. It just needs a little, like these two lines might just become one dark line.
right.
The trusses though, they need to be lighter, right?
No, he hatched them.
Oh, okay.
Well, these are, and maybe I'm using the wrong term. These are the horizontal pieces
Mhm.
that are coming along that help to support the roof.
Mhm.
And the truss is actually in the background in this case, purlins.
Should we hatch those?
You don't have to. The heavier line is fine. I mean,
Okay.
it's just
Yeah.
done a pretty good job here.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know why I thought they need to be light, so there you go.
No, because they're
Jonathan-
thin, but we're actually cutting through them in section.
Yeah.
The section is actually giving us almost too much information, but you know, it's good.
Yeah. You could do a medium line for the middle. So treat your windows just the same. So again, we just want to enclose this space. Show us we're inside.
Yeah.
So the floor is good. Get us some window, and then this is a good start. Just get us those dark lines on the outside so we could see the, and this is all good. This is all perfect down the bottom.
Yeah.
So the beams have been cut through, posts are beyond. Yeah. Actually have little downspouts, little gutters at the bottom too. Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? So plan on Sunday, Tuesday the latest, probably Sunday. Let's say Sunday for picking these up, and then hopefully I'll have a chance to look at them on Monday, grade them, and then Tuesday we'll be done with this. And Michael will take it from here and talk about SketchUp in 10 minutes.
Great.
Any questions, comments? We're all good on where we are? All right, 20 after?
20 after.
Okay, see you soon.
Screen, and I want to take you to my Adobe Bridge, which I don't see. Okay, so before we really get into modeling, there's something that we, in this assignment that's really important that I want you to really put on a Post-it and put next to your computer. What is it that you find appealing about the project you've selected? What is it that you like about it? We've said, in about 3 sentences, why did you take this on? What, and I can give you some leading, some prompts, whatever you like. But that's important to keep that in the forefront, because unlike CAD, where we're going to try to incorporate everything, SketchUp, we're going to have to abandon. We're not going to be able to model everything, not in the time we have, is that we have to really focus on what is aesthetically critical or outstanding about each of the projects. So those are the kinds of things that you need to be thinking about now. And I'll throw out some stuff. So you should be seeing now the pictures of the hut, which more people have gravitated to. What I really like about it, but it's going to be also a challenge to model, is the simplicity of it. This is what we call an A-frame. And the trusses and the articulation of the wood and the kind of overall crispness of the execution, that's what I find really attractive. I also like its transparency, and I think that it's a very appealing building in the way that it's been crafted. So we hope we'll bring that same craft to what we do. So we'll just look at the pictures of it. Make them a little smaller. Okay, so the big thing that we're going to focus on, and each of these is why I want you to pay attention for future AutoCAD SketchUp reference, is we're going to take a slightly different approach in each of these 3 projects about what we're going to focus on. So it's just like in a design studio, you want to focus on what's your principal design ideas. And the other stuff, that's going to kind of maybe be, put a little bit secondary. So the A-frame in this project is, for me, and you may find other things that you find attractive, is the main kind of aesthetic that we're looking at. So let me switch to the yard house. In this, it's this really crisp geometry. And the thing is, we're really going to have to model the interior, at least the basics of it, in the yard house. so that, because there's a lot about the transparency between the interior and exterior. And there's this beautiful way that light comes into the space through these high kind of clerestory windows that bring in light to the stair, bring in light to the space on the side. So in this one, we're going to, and it's got another complication, and it's a 2-story structure. So we have to work on a strategy where we build the first story and then we build the second story. And we want to be able to get this wonderful contrast of light and shadow, and this diffuse light that's coming through the space like we see here. We're going to not be that worried about the upper floor. As we mentioned, these bedrooms are not going to be great to be in. Here we go. And here it looks like, in the images that I have, it looks like there is no door. Oh, you probably can't see it. Let me go my share. So now you see my entire desktop. And here, we're going to worry less about the second floor on this. It's good that it's there, but we're probably not going to do any views up here. And again, I think that there's not even a door between the bathroom and the bedrooms. And there's only some really low windows that don't even register on this plan that are running along this left side of the second floor. We don't know the exact orientation of this building, where north and south are, but we'll look at that. Okay, so let's take a look now at the one, the lounge at Tepoztlan, or however it's said, in Mexico. And let me pull that up. Bridge. This one is a little bit more straightforward. It's a little bit like the project we did for the case study, our first case study. It's basically got a boxy concrete rectangle. Not quite, it's actually a trapezoid, sort of. And then it's got these pieces that are sort of breaking out of it with the glass curtain walls. And what a lot of you identified that you found really attractive about this was this relationship, this sort of transparent box, and the porches and decks leading into the landscape. So with this one, it's going to be really important to also get the contour and landscape in, although we'll simplify it a little bit. But you should all be writing down, like, what really attracted you to each of these projects that made you decide to give away big chunks of your life for the next interim to spend time looking at them really closely. And just to clarify, this one is also perplexing because the drawings and the building are not the same. But here, this is a classic interior that just kind of flows into exterior. And yeah, there's doors here that weren't even shown on the plan. And this is the back facade, black painted concrete, cast in place concrete. Okay, so that's just a quick review of the buildings. Now let's get into SketchUp. So each of you, I've uploaded a base plan where I've brought in a CAD plan and sections and oriented them in the correct direction in SketchUp. Okay, So I'm going to start with the hut. Whoops. Let me go camera, perspective. And these standard views are really helpful. Everybody's seeing this, right? You're seeing my SketchUp. Okay, so I'm going to go to top view. And I'm going to, so here's a nice imported CAD plan. And then the section, which is somewhat useful, and the south elevation. Whoa, whoops.
Michael, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So the, how would I say this? The Y axis at 0,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the CAD file sits, right? The PDF sits down at 0 essentially.
Right, right.
So would you build everything above that, or do you ever go down, like the footings for this hut, would they go down below 0, or were they built on top of 0? Or doesn't it
I
matter?
would, honestly, David, because we don't see them, this is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be different than the World of CAD.
Yeah.
We're not going to make them.
Okay.
It's really, SketchUp, I mean, I started, which is more information, but I thought, oh, well, to really build these properly, I have to look at the way these houses were built and recreate that in SketchUp.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't work very well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What I had to do was like, what do you see? What do they look like is more important. What do you actually see and perceive? So for example, like with this section, when we look at the house, it looks like there's this marching of these A-frames going all the way through that are all the same, that march through the house and support it. But in fact, when we get into where there's an interior, which is this section, it gets quite different. There's an actual cavity and staggered. The roof purlins are staggered, for insulation, and we're not going to worry about that. What it looks like to us, to an outsider, is there's this nice march of these A-frames plugging along across this design. And we're going to focus on that. And we're not going to spend as much time on the things that we may not see or we don't see.
Makes sense.
So it's like it's a little bit like when you build a physical model, a presentation model, is you focus on what you will see and what are the significant elements. So each of these involves a different strategy. So if you can play along while I'm doing your particular building, what I wanted to do, so I made a big deal about these A-frames, is the very first thing that I want to do is build one of them, make one of them, at least in 2D. So I'm going to trace, I've imported these, I've reoriented them. I can show you a little bit, I can show you actually right now. If I want, I'd like to have the image of this hut in SketchUp. So I'm going to go to File and Import hut at Kino Estate. It's the back elevation, side view. There's a lot of landscape on these. So I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to import it. And, oh, wrong one. Escape, wrong one. File, import. So it's Chemo 2, Chemo 5, import. I'm going to bring this in. Okay, and there's a little problem that I want to get this up so I can view it. I find when I'm working off an existing drawing, existing building, it's really nice to have the photograph. Now, I'll show you because I went through doing this, and you can do this as well. That in order to rotate things, it's really hard. I need to create a quick little box. So I'm just going to do a little rectangle. And I'm going to pull that up. It doesn't really matter how big it is. Just to give me something to orient to. And then I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to hit the rotate tool. And I'm going to get over on this box. And I'm going to pick that and I'm going to lift it up. And I may also just move this over a little bit. I find it almost impossible to do the rotating in 3D without an orientation cube. There are people that are slicker than I am that can do this, but not me. So let me just do a zoom extents. And I could, for the moment, I think I will, hide this. Okay. So.
Can I just ask you about unhiding?
Yeah.
Is it all or nothing when it comes to
No,
unhiding?
you can do view or edit, unhide just the last.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or we could be using layers to
Ah.
hide and reveal things, which is really
Okay.
probably what we should do.
Yeah, so if you have a complicated setup, you should anticipate that and use layers.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have the Revit option where it's show what's hidden and you could select.
No.
No, so layers are important. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so let me go back because I do want to do view. So click, hide. Okay, so I want to go over this. This is when you bring in AutoCAD files into SketchUp, they're brought in as a component. They're all brought in together. And we're going to work on top of this. And we're not going to start with the plan. We're going to start with the trusses. And then we'll move them into place. And then we'll start working with the plan. Because this is the big aesthetic. And I want to get this right before we go much further. So I'm going to start with a line and trace this. Okay, and you see there, it's made a surface, which is what we want. It's just a two-dimensional surface, but in a moment, we're going to make it bigger, thicker. And so I'm going to do this with this guy as well.
Professor, do you have it recorded?
Shoot, did I? Let's see.
Yes.
I thought you did.
It is recording, yeah.
It should be currently recording. You know, I don't have that. I don't have that in my view. It should say, there should be a little icon on your desk that says it's being recorded. Yeah, oh, it is being recorded.
It is.
I have,
Yes, there is.
I have the tiniest of icons when I look at my bar. Yeah, so it is currently recording. Okay, so I made these two guys, and I'm just going to come in, and the ridge beam is kind of important too, and I'm just going to do that with a rectangle. Okay, and I'm going to do these guys down here with a rectangle. Well, okay, that does happen. It joined a whole bunch of extra faces, so let me delete that. I don't want all of those turned into a surface. There. Okay. So I'm going to turn this, I'm going to do a couple things and then I'm going to turn it into a component. So I'm going to push pull this. I've established it's about 3.5 inches deep. Just looking off the plan. So I'm going to push it in each direction 1.5 inches. So I'm going to pull this and I'm going to type 1.5. And I'm going to go around the back. Oh, yeah, and I have to seal that up again. Whenever you can see the box opened up. Let me do that by drawing a line. There, a little hard to see. Let me turn off shadows too. They're not really helping. And I'm going to push pull this guy 1.5 inches as well. Huh. See, something seems amiss. So let me just check this before I go any further. What is that dimension? That's the wrong dimension. So it's 3 7/16. That's not right. So I'm going to push that back. Okay. So you get kind of the gist. Like, this is where you want to put your effort when you get started with this. Is we're going to do this, and then what I hope to get to, and I want you guys to get to, is then we're going to place these A-frames on the plan. And then we'll move on to the next one. So 1.5. Again, that. Okay. Almost done. I just want to bring the ridge out. Okay. So this, for better or worse, is our basic A-frame. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the surfaces and make it into a component. I don't want to make it into a component with the lines. So I'm going to do it here, where I'm going to triple click, 1, 2, 3. That picks everything. Right click, make it a component. And I'm going to call it A-frame. Brilliant. Replace, create. Oops. And let me So I'm going to move that in the place of the very first truss. So move. Oops, and it has a little extra thing that I didn't want. Oh, where'd it go? Please snap to midpoint. There. Okay. So for all my sweat, let me zoom out. Okay, so there's one. So that's the beginning, although I'm going to edit this. Delete that. Delete that. And so I'm going to start putting, I'll put these in place. I don't think I'll do every one because I think you'll get the gist of it pretty fast. So I'm going to do a move copy. And unfortunately, they're unevenly spaced. So what I could do is tap the Option key and come off in this direction. And then just say 6x. So you see, these first three are evenly spaced, but these aren't. So let me move those into place. Oh, wrong thing, escape. I should lock that. Let me do that. Lock. Okay, so that way I should have locked all the components. So with this guy, I'm gonna have to move it, and maybe I'll stop doing this and move on. Here. And the point I want to snap to is midpoint. Okay, I'm not going to do all of them. You get what's going on here. I think I need to make an extra copy. And so one of the things I can do is I can begin to pull a ridge beam through it. I guess there's something about me as an architect which makes me feel like this looks very unstable without a ridge on it. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to take a look at the image, and then we'll move on. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to do a new rectangle. And I'm going to push pull this. And I have to look, I think, but I'm not sure that it comes even with this edge. And then I'm going to push pull it whoa, uh-oh, that's not good. Glad I'm doing this now because something is off. Oh, wow, it's doing it at an angle. Let me try that again. Rectangle. Or I could, but I would have to modify it, but that's okay. Even easier, breezier is to edit this, is to push pull this. Come on, keep going. And here, I'm gonna make this guy unique. And push pull that. Okay. Now let me just see if I can do this. Okay, rectangle. And push pull that out. Okay. So it may not seem like a lot, but we're getting it's a significant overall feature of this particular building together. So I'm going to, let me just, and let me file and save as. Okay, so are there any questions at this point? Any answers? I could use help on this. Like, what will we do next? One of the things I'd like to do though is I'm going to take all of this And I'd like to put this on another layer. So I'm going to go to layers, and these are the imported layers. Is I want to add a new layer. Come on. Layers, wrong one. Add a layer. A frame. Okay, and I'm going to take this and I am going to put it not on layer 0, but come on. Should be enough. Okay, that was a little tricky, but it did it. And what is helpful is when I want to work on the actual enclosed space, I can turn these guys off. Visible, not visible, visible, not visible. Okay? So that's the hut at chemo. Let's see if what we can do with the other two. We may not get all the way through or to the point that I want to get with the other two. Alrighty, let's do them in order of popularity. So the next most popular, this I think turned out to be the most popular, nearly so, is the lodge in Mexico at Tepoztlan. So let me go to Window and Tepoztlan. And let me okay. So with this one is much more like what we did in that desert study project, that we'll build up the walls and then we'll pull up the glass and pull up the interior features. We have the section for reference, but we're not going to need to use it a lot. So let me lock this so I don't move it around. And I'm going to get started in pulling up the walls. So for that, I'm going to draw. Okay, and I'm going to offset this. And then that should give me, yeah, let's delete that. And I'll delete. Oops. Okay. Let's try that again. I may have to go and actually trace the walls. I was hoping the offset would save some time, but we'll see. Okay, I see what the difficulty is. I'm hoping then. Okay, let's try this one more time. What happened to my offset? Okay, offset. All right. Let's start making it into 3D. So it is 7'9". Let's just round it to 8 feet. This one we have to worry least about the heights. So let me extrude that up. And 8 feet.
Excuse me. So what's the height that we should keep?
8 feet. I picked it. What I did was to find out the height. I went to your section and I checked this guy, this line, which goes from floor to ceiling. And over here it said enter the information 7'9". I should have probably done it consistently, 7'9". It seems a little low, but I would do that. But that's how I got that measurement. I just clicked on it. I got to enter the info.
I think so.
So let me actually push pull. Let me get out of that. And I'll just push pull this down. 3. Makes a little bit of a difference, but oh, I forgot the floor slab. That's what's going on here. Anyway, I wanted to get the walls, but I should have done the floor slab first. That would have been better. So I'm just going to cut these off. And hopefully this will clean up when I do the push pull. Okay. So that gives us the sidewalls. And press pull the floor down. And the floor slab looks like it is okay. So when I don't have a line I can work off of, I just draw a line. And that tells me yeah, it's about 7. The floor slab is about 7 inches, which sounds about right. 7-inch concrete floor slab for a relatively small building, reinforced concrete. So let's see if I can push pull this down. Okay. So that's the gist of it. Let's actually, that was wrong. Let me take this out. So I should have practiced on this one. Okay, a little sloppy. Hmm. Okay. So that's the beginnings of this. And then you're going to place in the glass wall. I guess I will. And what I want to do now is I want to take this and turn it all into a component. So I'm going to triple click. I'm going to make this component. I should have actually probably made the floor slab separate, but okay. So this is for the Tepoztlan Lodge Lounge. This is what I'd like you to get to by Thursday. Okay. We'll take a quick look at what everybody has done. And you can keep going. This one, like, you already know the tools for the most part on how to do this particular project, with a few exceptions, because you already, it's pretty much the same tools that you use for that desert shelter. So what I'd like to do is get this cleaned up a little bit. And this. Okay. All right, you're not going to cooperate. I'm going to do this. Okay, that's pretty darn good. Save as. All right, and now for the one that I find actually was rather challenging was the yard house. So any questions on the Tepoztlan Lodge? Lounge. Tepoztlan Lounge.
It's not a question of this one specific, but would you like a SketchUp, or you want a PDF a scene for this Thursday?
Well, what I was hoping we could do is we could take just a quick look. What I would like to do. Okay, we should I'll put a Dropbox in there. Not graded. I just like to see your progress at Thursday's class. So your SketchUp model. Submit your SketchUp model for
Thank you.
for the beginning of class Thursday. I'll put that in for like 11 o'clock, so I'll have time to review them before class. Okay? Great.
Okay.
Let's take a look now, file. And okay, so this is what I've come up with Yard House so far. I had to change strategies. Originally, I extruded the section of this guy, and that caused me all sorts of aggravation. So I went back to sort of what I know how to do, which is to do the first floor and then plan to do the second floor. Even that presented some challenges. This one is interesting because this presented me with the most kind of challenges in actually putting it together. So let me go over from scratch with this one. Okay, so two of you are doing this project, but like I say, everyone should take a look over the shoulder, like how to do this. Each one of these guys has a slightly different strategy about how to make this work. So again, remember like what you really like about it so that comes out in the model. And the stuff you're less interested in, maybe that becomes secondary. what I really like about this project is the way light comes through it, particularly the living spaces. Not so much the bedrooms, which we really don't get a good image of. So let me go to, whoops. Okay, so there it is in section. So that's what I did was I went in, and I'll do that with you guys. And did the walls first. Okay, so I did the lower floor walls, then I did the stair. I made each into a component. So here goes nothing. And then we'll stop in about 15 minutes. Okay, and again, I did that. I'm going to offset that guy. And I am going to push pull this up. So I used the section to determine that. This one I had to use X-ray view quite a bit. So let me switch that on. Oops. And this isn't super, well, I almost don't know if this is really that important, but this wall is a little thinner out here. I'm going to push pull that wall. There. And top view. Okay, so I'm going to do the rectangle tool. And actually, I think I'm just going to draw a line. Okay, push pull this guy up. Turn off X-ray view for a moment. Okay. So yeah, this I kind of switched strategies where originally I extruded, I can even show you what I did. It just didn't work very well. Do I have that even up? No, this is the one this is my plan B attack on this particular project. And what I would like to do is we'll go over punching the windows, which are pretty simple because they're just two really big windows. So I'm gonna do this. And it's a little tricky, the height on this. This is where the drawings aren't quite correct, but I'm gonna go up. Let me see, whoops. Let's see what I'm doing here. And push pull this in. Turn off X-ray view. Okay. And then there's an opening over here in this wall, which looks like it goes up higher. So I'm going to do that. Same way, X-ray view. Push pull that. Turn off shadows, turn off X-ray. So you see how I'm roughing it in. The tricky part gets to be for the second floor, which maybe I'll be better prepared by next class to show you how to do this, but I'd like you to at least get to this point. I could really quickly show you the stair. I have to throw some math at you though at the end of the day, which may not be the best thing to do.
Professor, I have a question.
Okay, better a question. Yes.
So where the large window and the door is that threshold the same, I guess, height as the inside, the interior of
Or
the-
just, or very close.
Okay.
It's like maybe, an inch.
Oh, so it's not like a little step thing.
I don't think so. But the best thing is, which I keep I want to do, thank you for bringing that up, is I want to take a look at exactly that. So let's just see, because, yeah, it looks like it's the thinnest slab. It's like a little step, and then there's this edge, and here's a step. So this is probably the most revealing view. So this is, yeah, there's a little, and I can raise that. And then this is raised a little bit more. This is actually, it looks like it's a step up. So
I have a question for the hut.
yeah,
So for Thursday, do you want us to draw whatever you drew, like the thresholds? And do you want us to start trying and draw the inside as well?
no, I would really focus on the exterior.
Okay, so we're
You can-
at
you
the
can-
point that you had it today.
Yeah.
We want to get there, right? Okay.
You can go, if you want to go further, I won't stop you at all.
I
wouldn't
mean,
hurt
I'll
you.
see because
Right.
we'll see how it goes.
Okay, if you folks, I just want you to start getting use the expression, your feet wet, getting involved with the model, looking at it, doing these SketchUp moves, and getting these things in. It will get a little harder as we begin to tweak these, but I'm making it look easy. I spent a big chunk of the last 24 hours rehearsing, not for the one at Tepoztlan, because I thought that one was easy. None of these are easy. They're all a bit of a challenge. So I have an unstable internet connection for some reason. At least that's what I was told by Zoom. So I hope I'm still coming through okay. But I think that's probably a good point to wrap up and take any additional final questions. We're going to have the trick on this is going to be the roof. It's not hugely complicated, but we want to get it right because that's a really significant element about the way it brings in light and defines the space. So there you go. So more SketchUp on Thursday, but I'll put together a Dropbox. And please, there won't be a grade. It's really preliminary, but I would like you to submit your SketchUp file so I can take a look at them. So I will put that up shortly on Canvas.
Okay.
Great. David, do you have anything?
No, that was all. That all made sense, and yeah,
It did?
it
I'm
did.
impressed.
I was curious about how the different approaches. So yeah, especially the hut. The hut made sense.
Yeah.
especially.
Yeah. And I really want you, even if you might want to tune out, like, well, oh, I'm not doing that for this class, is like, follow me on each of them, because you may have a design like this eventually, that you're going to be like, okay, the tool I have is SketchUp, and I want to do something with a really cool peaked roof, or I want to do something really interesting in section, or, whatever it is. And you'll like, oh yeah, Stern went over that, kind of, sort of, so that you have something to refer back to. Okay?
Yeah, you can't just extrude a tent, like a triangular tent. So
You can't, I mean, that's super easy to do in SketchUp, but it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to do complex architecture, even though these buildings aren't hugely big and complex, but
yeah.
great.
I guess we're gonna add like materials
Later.
or like the hut on like the roof, I guess.
Yeah, we'll add corrugated metal. We're not going to make the metal corrugated because that would just create too many surfaces. Literally, it's, corrugated metal is curved, so it doesn't, but we're not going to do that. If we get around to a renderer, we can substitute corrugated metal if we want. But yeah, we'll get into it. Okay.
Sounds
Great.
good.
So I'll want to see your progress, and we'll see each other on Thursday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sounds good. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
That's that leg.
I have a question about my scale. Or should I come to office hours?
Right, for which one? SketchUp or CAD?
Okay.
I could stick around now and take a quick look.
Okay. And I have a picture of her chairs.
Oh, of her chairs, grandma's chairs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I want to hang around to at least see grandma's chairs, because you got a pretty jazzy grandma here.
Can you, Michael, you could stop sharing and Kira could share, I guess, be the
Yeah.
easiest way.
Let me stop the share. Let me stop the recording.